Once upon a time, very long ago, in a simple Hausa village, lived two inseparable friends, Aisha and Fatima. Aisha, with her heart as pure as the morning dew, was admired by all for her kindness and grace. Fatima, on the other hand, harbored a silent envy, a dark seed that began to sprout as they blossomed into womanhood. Fatima's bitter envy takes root. The most eligible farmer in the village, Musa, a man of strength and gentle spirit, chose Aisha as his wife. Their union was celebrated with joyous ululations and vibrant dances, a testament to their deep love. But for Fatima, the festivities were a bitter potion. While Aisha found her soulmate, Fatima struggled to attract even a fleeting glance from any man. Venomous whispering crept thoughts into her mind. It hissed about Aisha's seemingly perfect life, about the attention she effortlessly commanded, and about the deep affection Musa held for her. Fatima's envy festered, turning her once warm heart into a cold, desolate chamber. Driven by a desperate desire for what Aisha possessed, she sought out the village's reclusive Boka, a medicine woman known for her potent and often perilous charms. With a trembling hand, Fatima paid the Boka for a powerful love charm. Her conscience silenced by the roaring flames of her jealousy, she told herself it was her destiny, that Musa was truly meant for her. Even as a shiver of dread ran down her spine, a web of deceit and a mother's heartbreak, under the Boka's dark guidance, Fatima administered the charm to Musa slowly. Subtly, Musa's affections began to shift. His eyes, once filled with adoration for Aisha, now sought out Fatima with a strange, unnatural intensity. Aisha, heavy with child, watched in heartbroken disbelief as her husband, once her unwavering pillar, drifted further and further away. Her world, once vibrant with love, was crumbling around her. She confronted Fatima, tears streaming down her face, her voice choked with desperation. "Fatima, my friend, please, what have you done? He is my husband, the father of my unborn child. Our friendship, our sisterhood, does it mean nothing to you?" But Fatima, hardened by her wicked desires, remained unmoved. A cold, defiant gleam was in her eyes. "He chose me, Aisha," she retorted, a cruel triumph in her voice. "He was meant to be mine. Your tears won't change that." Musa, trapped in the Boka's powerful spell, eventually took Fatima as his second wife. The village whispered, their words like sharp stones thrown at Aisha's already shattered world. She watched, helpless, as Fatima occupied her place beside Musa, a constant reminder of her betrayal. Both women bore daughters, Zainab for Aisha, a beacon of hope in her sorrow, and Amina for Fatima, a child raised in the shadow of her mother's malice, taught to look down on Aisha and Zainab. As the years passed, Fatima's cruelty intensified, becoming more horrific with each passing season. She saw Aisha and Zainab not as family, but as perpetual thorns in her side, constant reminders of her own dark deeds. She made Aisha's life a living nightmare, her every action designed to inflict maximum pain. Fatima would openly mock Aisha's failing health, whispering loud enough for everyone to hear about how Aisha was wasting away. Delighting in the visible hurt on Aisha's face, she would prepare delicious meals for Musa and Amina, ensuring the aroma wafted to Aisha and Zainab's hut, only to serve them meager, often burnt or stale, leftovers, or sometimes nothing at all. Zainab's stomach would constantly ache from hunger, a gnawing emptiness that mirrored the emptiness in her heart. Physical abuse became a horrifying reality. Fatima would accidentally trip Aisha, causing her to fall and bruise, or mistakenly pour hot water on her while preparing food. For Zainab, the torment was even more direct. Fatima would pinch her until bruises blossomed on her skin, pull her hair until she cried out in pain, and deny her access to clean water or proper clothing. Zainab often wore ragged, patched garments, a stark contrast to Amina's vibrant, new clothes. The psychological warfare was perhaps the most heartbreaking. Fatima constantly reminded Zainab that she was unwanted, a burden, and a constant disappointment. "You're just like your weak mother," she'd sneer, her words like daggers. Useless and forgotten. She forbade Zainab from playing with other children. isolating her completely. Zainab spent her days in silent solitude, watching other children play, yearning for a friend, a kind word, a moment of peace. Musa, still ensnared by the spell, remained oblivious to the relentless torment his first wife and daughter endured. He would occasionally notice Aisha's pale face or Zainab's downcast eyes, but the spell distorted his perception, making him dismiss it as simple melancholia or childish sulking. Aisha, a shadow of her former self, withered under the constant abuse, her spirit slowly fading, until one somber morning, she breathed her last. Zainab, clutching her mother's lifeless hand, felt an unimaginable ache in her chest, a grief so profound it threatened to consume her. Fatima, now unchecked, her eyes gleaming with sinister intent, saw Aisha's death as an opportunity to rid herself of Zainab completely. She saw her as a constant reminder of Aisha and a threat to her own daughter's future. One night, a few weeks after Aisha's burial, Fatima, her face contorted with malice, crept into Zainab's hut with a sharp stone, but fate and the spirits of her ancestors intervened. Zainab, sensing the chilling presence, awakened with a gasp. She saw the glint of the stone in Fatima's hand, the murderous intent in her eyes. Terror, cold and absolute, gripped her. She scrambled out of her sleeping mat and burst out of the hut, running blindly into the dark, moonlit dodgy forest, her heart pounding like a war drum against her ribs. Zainab ran until her legs burned, fueled by fear and a desperate will to survive. She ran, stumbling through thorny bushes and over gnarled roots, until her small body could take no more. Exhausted and terrified, she collapsed near an ancient, towering baobab tree, unaware that it marked the sacred grove of the great oracle of Zaria. The oracle, wise and ancient, sensed the purity of her heart and the immense injustice she had suffered. She took Zainab in, her gentle hands a stark contrast to the cruelty Zainab had known. Under the oracle's tutelage, Zainab spent years learning the ancient ways, mastering the elements, and unlocking unimaginable powers within herself. She communed with spirits, deciphered cryptic prophecies, and harnessed the raw energy of the earth. She learned how to move with the grace of the wind, to see beyond the veil of ordinary sight, and to command the very essence of life. She was no longer just Zainab, the heartbroken, tormented daughter. She was a force of nature, forged in the crucible of sorrow and tempered by divine power, her spirit burning brighter than any flame. Finally, the day came for her return. Zainab, cloaked in an aura of power, her eyes shimmering with newfound wisdom, walked back into her village. Her presence alone sent shivers down the spines of those who had wronged her. The villagers, who had long pitied her, now looked at her with awe and a touch of fear. She went straight to her father, Musa, who was still living under Fatima's cruel rule. With a touch, she shattered the Baka's dark spell that had bound him for so long. The fog lifted from Musa's mind, and the agonizing truth of his actions and Fatima's deceit crashed upon him with the force of a crashing waterfall. He collapsed to his knees, weeping, his heart heavy with regret and unbearable shame, as he finally remembered the tender love of Aisha and the long years of suffering he had unknowingly inflicted upon her and their daughter. Then Zainab confronted Fatima. Her voice, calm yet resonating with an unshakable authority, commanded Fatima to confess her sins before the entire village. Paralyzed by Zainab's overwhelming power, Fatima, tears streaming down her face, her body trembling uncontrollably, confessed to everything: the charm, the constant torment of Aisha and Zainab, the starvation, the beatings, the emotional abuse, and the attempted murder. The villagers gasped, their faces etched with horror and disbelief, their murmurs growing into a unified wave of condemnation. With justice served and her mother's spirit finally at peace, Zainab looked at Fatima, her eyes filled with a righteous fury. "You took everything from me," she declared, her voice echoing with the weight of years of suffering. "My mother, my childhood, my peace. And now the balance must be restored." With a swift, decisive strike of unimaginable power, Fatima was no more, vanishing into a flash of light, leaving behind only the lingering scent of smoke and a profound silence. From that day forward, Zainab became known as the Great Seer of House Land. Her wisdom and powers were legendary. She brought peace and prosperity back to her village. Musa, now free of the spell, dedicated his life to making amends, showering Zainab with the love and care he had been unable to give. People from all corners of Houseland and beyond journeyed to her, seeking guidance, healing, and protection. She spoke of balance and justice, of the interconnectedness of all things, and of the enduring power of truth. Her story became a tale whispered around village fires, a testament to the strength of a daughter's love, the triumph of good over evil, and the ultimate restoration of harmony. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share. Bye bye my lovelies!